Mario wouldn't be where he is today without the help of his power-ups. For every super mushroom and propeller mushroom, there are a few power-ups that don't quite cut it. They're overrated, pointless, and can often wreck the flow of a game. Before you do watch, super jump on that subscribe button. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. Potted Piranha Plant. One of the biggest improvements in the Super Mario franchise was giving Mario the ability to pick up turtle shells, carry them, and throw them on the ground. It completely changed strategies for the game and allowed players to completely change the way enemies are attacked. Once this type of power-up had been introduced in Super Mario 3, it remained for all the future platforming games. Using turtle shells works well enough, but the game developers decided to take things one step further. First introduced in Super Mario 3D World, Mario now has the ability to grab a potted piranha plant. Mario carries the large plant as it snaps at enemies and eats them, while Mario runs and jumps. While it seems like a good concept, the execution is clunky and doesn't really do much to help Mario get through the levels. If you don't go in at the right angle, then you can actually get attacked by the plant. This adds an unnecessary risk as Mario tries to use the piranha plant to his advantage. Mario Kart 8 actually takes advantage of the piranha plant in a clever way, as the pot has wheels attached and can attack other vehicles. Double Cherry Power-Up. Defeating Goombas, Koopa Troopas, and Bowser is made a lot easier when you have another player by your side. Multiplayer Mario games completely change the way levels flow and allow you to gather all the special coins and extra power-ups. Nintendo must have realized that not everyone has someone to play with, and that's why they invented the Double Cherry Power-Up for Super Mario 3D Land. The power-up was actually created from a glitch that caused the clone characters to appear. The power-up will create a clone of the current player like Mario. This clone follows the character around and repeats the same actions at the same time. It looks like mirror vision, and the only benefit is collecting coins just a little bit faster. After playing for a few minutes, the novelty of the Double Cherry power-up quickly wears off. It can become confusing and almost disorienting to see the duplicate characters on screen for extended amounts of time. It'd be better if the AI helper would come in to collect coins and kill enemies instead. At some points, it feels like the cloned character just gets in the way instead of actually helping with getting through levels faster. Goomba's Shoe. Super Mario 3 was a game changer for the whole Mario franchise. Mario could slide, glide, and collect symbols for extra lives. The Mario map allowed players to explore levels in their own order, and many of the game concepts showcased in this sequel have been kept throughout the whole franchise. Even with everything that's been kept from the game, there's one power-up that did not join the legacy of Mario. Known as Goomba's Shoe, the power-up allows Mario to ride in a boot. Not a steel-toed boot that could kick away enemies, not a magical boot that could fly across levels. It was a boot. A huge boot that Mario could hop in. The boot couldn't be eaten by piranha plants and would travel over enemies with ease, but not much else. It only appears in 2 levels in the game and is not even necessary to get through those levels. Once the levels are over, the boot is thrown off and Mario returns to his regular form. The only return that the boot has ever made to Mario was for Super Mario Maker. Not only can Mario now hop along in the boot, but Super Mario Maker upgraded the design to include additional boots and even high-heel stilettos. Metal Cap Mario. Super Mario 64 was a game changer for the Nintendo 64 console. It was the perfect launch game and really helped Mario jump into an open-world environment after appearing in so many side-scrolling adventures throughout the years. The N64 title wasn't just another Mario adventure, but provided a way to showcase the new 3D technology and ways it would be implemented in future games. One of these features was the introduction of Metal Cap Mario. This is why it feels like Metal Cap Mario was kind of a show-off power-up that didn't serve a true purpose in the game. When Mario wore the Metal Cap, his whole body would transform into a chrome design that was reminiscent of the T-1000 in the Terminator movies. The metal body allowed Mario to sink to the bottom of water and collect items, but not much else. It seemed like the power-up was only used to showcase the different effects and designs on the Nintendo 64. Metal Cap Mario really pales in comparison when compared to future power-ups like the Gold Flower. Instead of a chrome Mario, the Gold Flower design turns Mario into a fully gold character that can turn everything into coins. Donkey Kong's Hammer. Mario's first foray into the video game world was as the main character in Donkey Kong. In the game, Mario used a lot of jumping to evade the giant ape, but also relied on a giant hammer to smash through barrels. When Mario debuted in his own Super Mario game, the hammer was abandoned for fireballs and super mushrooms. While most players got to enjoy those typical powers in the console version of the game, the hammer did not make its return for Super Mario Bros. Special. This PC version of the game features a hammer power-up. While it would be fun to go crazy with the hammer through the original Super Mario Bros., this power-up doesn't quite work like that. The hammer swings uncontrollably and only lasts for a short amount of time. It makes you wonder how the legacy of Mario would be changed if the hammer power-up was added to the console version of the game. Luckily for future games, the power-up was only used by villains like the Hammer Brothers. The best way that they're used now is in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Yoshi can swallow hammers and spit them back out towards his enemies. The Super Ball. The first Mario game to appear on the Game Boy handheld console was Super Mario Land. The game is a pretty accurate port of the console series and includes a lot of the same enemies and elements. Maybe there were some limitations on the early versions of the Game Boy, but one of the strangest omissions in the original Super Mario Land was the fire power-up for Mario. This popular power-up was replaced with a power known as the Super Ball. The Super Ball was also obtained by a flower, but it acted a lot different than typical fireballs. The Super Ball could defeat enemies and bounce through various parts of levels. The actions of the ball bounce were harder to predict than fireballs. The only plus side was that the balls could be used to collect coins throughout the level. It just feels really lame that Mario is forced to throw bouncy balls around instead of the powerful fireballs that fans were accustomed to playing with. Thankfully though, the fire power returned for the Game Boy sequel Super Mario Land 2 6 golden coins. The Super Ball has never been seen again in the Mario franchise. The Light Box. Mario has never been one to be afraid of taking on ghosts. He's entered a countless number of mansions and battled everything from mini-boos to giant versions of the ghost. This is why it's a little odd that Super Mario 3D Land introduced a light box power-up. Instead of taking the ghosts head-on, Mario hides inside of a large box with a lamp attached to the side of it. The lamp is used to ward off ghosts and get through some of the darker parts of the level. It seems kind of lame to have Mario hide inside of the large box. Not only is it cowardly, but Mario's movement is limited when traveling in the bulky power-up. It would have been better if Mario wore some type of headband light. Then he could use the light along with other power-ups like the fire power. After appearing in Super Mario 3D Land, the light box made a return for Mario Party Star Rush in 2016. For this version, the power-up was improved as players carried it around instead of hiding inside of it. Hopefully Mario can man up for future versions of the game and avoid the light box as he takes on various Boo ghosts. Goomba Mask. Mario was never one to go stealth. He's always been more of a speedster, looking to jump, shoot, and weave his way through level after level. Looking to slow things down a bit, Mario developers introduced a power-up known as the Goomba Mask in Super Mario 3D World. After hopping on a Goomba, Mario can go inside of the head of the monster and use it to sneak around. While wearing the mask, other Goombas cannot recognize the intruder, and Mario can sneak past without getting attacked. This would be great for Bowser or maybe the Hammer Bros, but Goombas are literally one of the easiest enemies in Mario history. It seems like a lot of work to attack a Goomba, steal his head, and then sneak around other Goombas just to taunt them over another dead family member. When sneaking around, you also lose any of your abilities. This means that you can't shoot fire, ice, or use any flying powers. That's a real bummer and really makes the mask pointless. While the stealth aspect can be fun, the Mario franchise should leave those elements to Metal Gear Solid. Spring Mushroom. Mario is known for his great jumping skills, and they've been featured in almost every game in the series. When Super Mario Galaxy was released, the jumping was brought across multiple galaxies and a new power-up was introduced along with it. In an effort to showcase even higher jumping capabilities, the game introduced the Spring Mushroom. When Mario eats this mushroom, a spring coils around his body and gives him the ability to jump to super high locations. While a super jump is a great power-up, this one has a lot of limitations. One of the biggest limitations with the Spring Mushroom is the movement that Mario has. Instead of running and jumping high in the sky, Mario flops around like a slinky toy. It can be annoying, take away from the pace of the game, and makes you wish you chose a different power-up instead. The whole purpose of a power-up is to add extras to Mario. When something hinders the character, it can be really annoying and makes the power-up pointless to get. Despite all of its flaws, the Spring Mushroom made its unwanted return in Super Mario Galaxy 2. Hopefully it remains lost in space for any future entries. Boo Mushroom. In Super Mario Galaxy, Mario realizes that to defeat his enemies, he must become them. That is the original intention behind the Boo Mushroom, but the confusing power-up doesn't really add much to the game. It's fun to fly around like a Boo Ghost for a couple of minutes, but the novelty wears off quick. There are also far too many limitations with the power-up. While you have the ability to read Boo text and travel through walls, it's far too easy to lose the power-up. While in the Boo Mushroom mode, you naturally attract other Boo Ghosts toward you. Making contact with any of them will instantly cause you to lose the power-up. You'll also lose the power-up if you cross any beams of light. The power-up only appears in 3 levels in Super Mario Galaxy and takes a little fun away from running away from the ghosts. The game creators saw that the power-up was a bust and only returned it for a single level in Super Mario Galaxy 2. It's pretty easy to tell that the power-up is a bust when Luigi frowns every time he captures the mushroom. Well, there you have it. So, what power-up do you think is the most overrated? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to The Gamer on YouTube so you can stay up to date with all of our awesome videos.